Hello and welcome to the Loose Ball Reviews. I'm your host Smokey, and joining with me as always is my co-host Spooge. Okay, and then joining with us on this review is our co-host Murda.
Hello.
And on like all of our reviews, before we get into it, I have to give 3 rules of the rating system. The first rule is it must be a fraction of 5. 1 means we hate it, 5 means we love it. Rule number 2, if we want our money back, we give it a good old Jeff Goldblum. And rule number 3, if we all agree that it deserves a 6 out of 5, a God tier, then it'll get a God tier. And today we are reviewing from 1997 Perfect Blue, directed by Satoshi Kon.
Hell yeah.
Hey. Yes.
His first
Distracted. I don't know what you
directorial.
guys do.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. You're good.
So, yes, this is his first directorial debut, actually.
Nice.
Oh,
Good
really?
one. It's a good debut.
Oh,
Really
yeah,
good debut.
he has worked on various projects before this, but this is his first, like, director job. He worked on, let's see here, a animation called World Apartment Horror. Jo, jo, Rojin Z.
If it's the Japanese, mm.
And
I mean,
JoJo's
yeah.
Bizarre Adventure, actually. 3
Oh, shit.
episodes. Yeah, he directed,
Oh, yeah,
wrote,
which-
and animated those.
Which season?
It does not say. It just says 3 episodes. He also storyboarded
Yeah.
artist for him. He was the
I would be
key
surprised if it was, like first
animator.
season or something.
Maybe part 2, because he was the key animator of the episode Iggy the Fool and Indul the Gib.
Oh. The Gib.
So yes.
Is he a BG? Or-
Yeah. There were vague references to, but yeah, and also like the Iggy for Iggy Pop.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And then there was Tom. What was it? I forget. It was like a really like off. It was like Tom Petty, but like it was slightly off.
Fuck! I forgot. I want to say Tom Petty, but I
It was like
don't.
a Piety or something like Tom
Yeah.
Piety.
Yeah.
Funny anime.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is basically just an excuse for music references.
Oh yeah.
That's, and this ain't the only thing he's done. After this, he also did Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika, and of course, saved the best for last, his TV show animation, Paranoia Agent, which is my favorite anime of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I need to watch that. I only saw a few episodes when it was on Adult Swim or whatever it was on.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Crunchyroll, and I decided to get it, so you can definitely watch it.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah,
one
I'd
that
like
you can
to.
actually watch the dub, and it'd be good. Like the dub is actually very, very competent.
For sure.
But we're here to talk about Perfect Blue.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Are you sure we're? Uh-oh.
Did we
Oh,
lose?
did we lose?
Oh, I.
Oh no.
It
Something
went
happened, but we're all back. So
Okay.
I think everything's good.
All right. So yes, as I said, this is his first directorial effort. This all started when a Massimo Moriyama, a producer at Madhouse at the time, who appreciated his work on an OVA of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, contacted him to ask if he would be interested in directing in the fall of 1994. The original author, my apologies for these names, Yoshikazu Takeuchi.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Yeah.
What's good about Japanese names is that they read well phonetically.
Allegedly first planned a live action film based on his novel. However, due to funding difficulties, it was downgraded to a direct to video and then direct to animation, which probably was for the best. This probably needed to be an animation anyway.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
I don't know what that would look like as a live action.
be scary.
I'm
It'd either be like really good or like so distractingly bad. Oh,
Oh
And-
yeah, for sure.
weird. Real.
we can kind of say we kind of seen this in live action. I was gonna try to save this. We got to bring up Darren. Our
Aronofsky.
Aronofsky. Yes, that we had to bring him up now.
Mhm.
He pretty much stole this movie and put it in and made Requiem for a Dream and Black Swan.
Well, he didn't steal the whole thing. He stole
No.
some scenes.
I mean,
pretty
Black
sure-
Swan
yeah.
is a pretty good, not a one for one scene, but it's pretty much the plot.
Mhm.
Well, I've seen Requiem for a Dream, and it's not really the plot. It's
I'm talking about Black
plot
Swan.
of that is
I'm not talking
about-
about Requiem.
oh, okay.
Requiem
I
for a
haven't-
Dream. They just steals the fucking scene, and he still doesn't give him fucking credit for
Yeah.
some reason.
I actually haven't seen Black Swan, so I can't say.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
Oh, it's gotta go in the fucking list because it is.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
It is a live action. It's not, like I said, it's not a scene for scene, but it's basically a live action adaptation of Perfect Blue.
Yeah, I'd like to compare them. I've seen
I'm
Requiem for a Dream, and I know it's supposed to be like a very like tragic, heavy movie, but I laughed the whole way through.
I only know one scene and I laugh a lot.
I thought it was like more of a comedy. I was wrong. It's not a comedy.
I only remember.
It's supposed to be like a psychological horror.
I only remember the bathtub scene, and that's because it's the fucking scene from Perfect Blue. It's like, wait a minute, why is this shot?
I also remember
for
the baby
shot?
on the ceiling. The baby on the ceiling was funny too, but I remember that because it's from Family Guy.
Like I do remember enjoying it, and like I don't think it was bad or anything. I just like in my mind I was watching a dark comedy, and I was cracking up.
I'm interested in watching that now because
I think
I wonder
We
like
all
how much.
perceive things differently.
It's
Yeah.
gotta go. It's gotta go on the list now for sure.
It's been on the list. We've tried so many times, just never on anything.
But yeah, I'm down to watch it again and see if I still think it's a comedy. I don't know. It's a long time ago.
We also gotta do the three. And screw it. I say let's put Paranoia Agent on the list and his other three movies as well. All of Satoshi Kon.
Yeah.
work.
Oh yeah,
Let's do it.
But yeah,
but back to the movie.
yeah, when Cohn received the initial offer, it was for an OVA project. So he made Perfect Blue as a video animation. Then it was decided to be released as a movie in a hurry just before its completion. This work was originally made as a video animation for a narrow market, so it was expected to disappear as soon as a few people talked about it. The fact that such a work was treated as a film, invited to many film festivals around the world, and released as a package in many countries was unexpected for those involved. Psychological horror was not a mainstream genre in Japanese animation, and there was no precedent for it at the time. It it would normally have been rejected, which is true because this is the time of Inuyasha and the Yu Yu Hakusho, all the kind of shonen jump. It's you got to have a
Yeah.
sexy protagonist and a teenage lead that fall in love. You know,
Well, little something for the
Mhm.
ladies.
Oh yeah.
I didn't notice it as a kid, but I definitely notice it watching the old anime now that some horny
Hey, you
motherfuckers
know,
are writing them shits.
Oh yeah.
give us a dreamy male. Like, I mean, there's certainly enough breasts and butts and stuff
That's why
for
you
the
gotta
men.
watch JoJo.
It's weird because in early like those in the early 90s it seems to have been all the mangakas were writing it like there was one central female protagonist and they ended up getting a reverse harem of dudes around them. But
Yeah.
now it's completely switched where it's a dude now that like gets isekai'd into a fucking fantasy world and ends up getting a harem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Fruits Basket, so I was about that male here. These
Nerds.
effeminate teen males as a teen, I might add.
Mm-hmm. Nerds want what they want.
And boy, does anime give it to us, you know?
Yep.
Fan service.
And then some. A little bit too much.
But yeah, by the time Cone was offered the job, the title Perfect Blue and the content and story about a B-class idol and a perverted fan had already been set. He hadn't read the original novel and only read the script for the film, which was said to be close to the original, and the script was never used in the actual film.
Oh.
So we'll never know what the script actually is. I tried to look for this original script because I was like, oh, maybe I can, like compare the differences, but nope. That this script is the original
Oh,
script
it's got
does
to be somewhere.
not exist.
Mm-hmm.
Now I
There
want to.
is apparently there is no play within a play in the original story, nor is there a motif of blurring the boundary between dream and reality. The first plot was a simple splatter psycho horror film the story about an idol girl that is attacked by a perverted fan who cannot tolerate her image change. And there were also many depictions of blood, so it was not suitable for Cone, who does not like horror or idols. Which I'm very shocked at, actually, because he I know before he's done this he hasn't done them yet, but he does like 4 horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Paranoia Agent relatively violent?
And yeah, and
Yeah.
Paranoia Agent's kind of horror-esque as well. So I'm very shocked to hear that he didn't like horror.
Maybe he's more of a
3.
psychological guy, and he likes kind of like riding the fence, you know.
But yeah, that's which that's what I like about Paranoia Agent is the psychological aspect. I can't get into it. I want to start talking about it because I could start talking about that for days.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah,
He sure doesn't shy away from other types of violence. So.
Oh yeah, I guess you can count this as a thriller. So I guess he got away with it. It's not really like too horror-esque. That it's more like
I'd say it's horror adjacent.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, when it
But
comes
not
to
horror.
the difference between horror and thriller is thriller will get your heart pumping and it'll get you paranoid, but it won't outright scare you. And horror, it's supposed to like like you're not supposed to you close like alien movies. I get scared and I gotta close my window.
I was very scared anytime Fishman was on the screen.
Oh yeah.
He was
Yeah,
an
Visage.
effective horror visual.
Yeah, but that was
Anytime
completely
that
intentional.
motherfucker was on the screen, oh.
They
It's
did
awful.
that. I like how he got more unsettling the more like reality started to blur. Like they just made his, to me it seemed like his eyes started to get wider and wider, and they kept doing that. They started doing that shot that they do of them staring directly at the camera, all weird and like it doesn't look good in live action, but animation, it's like, oh shit.
You gotta put Fishman on the intro so our audience has to see what I saw. That face
Yeah,
if they watch it.
if you can find a reference scene, that'll be great. Because
You're gonna make me look at him again.
We have to look. We have to look for the scene where he just like looks in the camera and grins.
Oh yes, that's the scene that I'm actually talking about. But yes, where was I? So it's not suitable. Cohn said that if he were free to make a plan, he would never have thought of such a setting. This genre was overused, having already been dealt with in various works such as Seven, Basic Instinct, and The Silence of the Lambs, and was also something that anime was not good at. But you're good
Very
at.
different films from each other.
Yeah,
They are
that
very
is.
different, yeah. Besides being
I like.
thrillers, yes.
Yeah, I like that it's just like being slightly in the same like genre. It's like this is overdone. There's too many of these. Like compared to now of like the exact same film like being copied and pasted out.
But
Basic
that's
Instinct.
crazy. He thought that this wasn't anime didn't do this as good because he nailed this. He fucking nailed it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, he made it do well.
Mhm.
But
But I
Sure.
guess, I mean, it was a little more like, there weren't as many options back then.
Mhm. Yeah. For sure.
I mean, you could kind of. I know most people probably wouldn't, but Angel's Egg, to bring that up, could be seen as a horror-esque.
Yeah, I'd put it in the adjacent category. I'd say more like dark fantasy, but dark fantasy always has horror aspects to it.
I can definitely see kids being scarred by Angel's Egg. That's not like interpreting it in the correct way. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
in the correct way. In a good way.
Mhm.
But
For sure.
since most of the works in the genre pursue how perverted or crazy the perpetrators, the murderers are, Cohn focused on how the inner world of the protagonist, the victim, is broken by being targeted by the stalker in order to outsmart the audience. Which, genius. He's a fucking genius.
Mhm. True.
On the other hand, the play within a play, Double Bind, is more like a parody than a straight psycho horror, and he made it in with made it with the intention of criticizing Japanese TV dramas that are easily made by imitating Hollywood fads immediately.
Yeah, I really know nothing about Japanese television, like currently or in the past. But I kind of got that, like it was supposed to be like, oh, like a dark satire of whatever the TV trend was at the time. I was
That
also like, can y'all put this on TV? Y'all can't put this on TV, right?
Oh,
They
have you
can.
seen the documentary about he's referred to as Eggplant? It's on Hulu.
No.
You should watch it. That will shine a good light on how Japanese TV the
They're
Japanese
crazy
TV.
with the
Yeah,
TV people.
their industry, they
I
don't
know like
like
reality shows were like
we
super
think
crazy.
like our when it comes to Hollywood, we have a huge problem when it comes to child predators in there. Over there, you're just victimized like right out the no matter what,
No
basically.
matter who you are.
Yeah, like you're gonna like it is it. Oh man, like to what
I
they
mean,
did to
like,
this man.
I just didn't know.
Who is referred
I
to
did
as
know about
Eggplant.
that.
It's gruesome. It's
Mhm.
harrowing. They psychologically broke the man.
I just
Like
I didn't know. I was like, in Japanese 90s television, could you put a horribly graphic rape scene?
Yes.
yeah,
On
oh
certain
yeah,
channels that come out on night, yeah. There's, I
for
mean, that's
sure.
why a lot of those like hardcore like they kind of hid under being like art and anime films, but they're pretty much just like hardcore porns, and those would like show up on like the late night anime channels too of like demon rape, you know.
Yeah, it's a shame
So
that the R word has any place in pornography
they
television.
just censor any like nudity too, but they'll be like full on like stop,
I
like
I
porn in
can't
some channels
I
too.
can't remember the name of it now, but there is a specific anime that if I could say the name, the people that the people that know what I'm talking about, but yeah, I know exactly because it aired on TV. I just can't remember, but
Hmm.
it's very graphic. The premise is a head principal kidnaps his students at an all female school and turns
Oh
them
yeah,
into
that's all you gotta
Oh,
say.
oh no!
yeah
Oh no!
yeah, and it's very
Yeah,
graphic,
they're
very
pretty free
graphic.
with their TV. I mean, certain channels, of course, are going to be more conservative than others and not, like have more restrictions. But it's going to be channel by channel. Like if you get cable, like over there, you get all the channels. You know.
Yeah, well, I learned something new because I was just like, there's no way this would be on like American TV unless it's like
But
HBO or something.
think of Dragon Ball too. Just like the things that like they did in that. That was a kid like a little kid show. You
Yeah,
know,
It's
yeah,
very
it's a little
literally.
different there.
very
I,
true, but not nearly as graphic.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying,
true,
like they have different standards. Is
but
what I
Yeah.
mean.
they definitely, if you're over there, you definitely saw Goku's little penis on TV. Like they didn't
Yeah.
censor that.
I had the DVD,
Yeah.
so I got to see it,
Yeah.
or had to see it, not got to. I wasn't asking for it.
It was funny.
It was funny, and it was when we lived in Germany, they didn't censor anything either. So
Oh yeah.
his little wing wang going around.
They didn't have the poorly edited boxer shorts.
All right, so Cohn decided to take on the role of director because he couldn't resist the allure of directing for the first time, and because the original author allowed him to change the story as he liked, as long as he kept three things in mind to make the film: A main character is a B grade idol. She has a rabbit fan stalker, and it is a horror film. He took some elements from the original work, such as the uniquely Japanese existence of idols, the otaku fans that surround them, and the stalkers that have become more radical and come up with as many ideas as possible, and came up with as many ideas as possible with the screenwriter, Sadoki Marui, with the intention of using them to create a complete new story. And the film needed a core motif, which had to be found not by the screenwriter or anyone else, but by the director Kohn himself. So he came up with the motif of two things that should have a borderline, such as dream and reality, memory and fact, and oneself and others. This is a very bad sentence. Becoming borderless and blending together based on the short film Majestic Rose, for which he had written a script and the suspended manga opus, which he did write the segment Magnetic. What was the segment? Yeah, it was Magnetic Rose on the film Memories from 1995.
Oh, I've locked myself out of the house.
Oh no.
I can get back in. It's just a journey to take.
Okay. So, the concept of memory and fact in the plot was inspired by the album Sim City by Sumu Hirasawa. He said this album is like a city that was suddenly created with a high degree of monetary. God damn it, I'm fucking that word up. Modernity without any evolutionary process. In the meantime, he came up with the idea that a character more like me than I, the protagonist, to the people around me, is created on the internet without my knowledge. This is very bad. The character is the past me for the protagonist, and this other me that should have existed only on the internet has materialized due to external factors. The consciousness of the fans who want the protagonist to be like that, a fucking tulpa, and internal factors, the protagonist's regret that she might have been more comfortable in the past. And then the compensation that the character and the protagonist herself confronted emerged. It was only then that he became convinced that this work could be established as his own video work. Kohn decided to interpret the original story above as a story about an idol girl who was broken down by a sudden change in her environment or by a stalker who targets her, and wrote a completely new script with the screenwriter. Intentionally, the screenwriter wrote the first draft of the script, and Kohn added and removed ideas from it. They spent a lot of time discussing, and many of the ideas came out of that. Next, Kohn wrote all of the storyboards, where he also made changes to dialogue and other elements. The drawing work was also carried out in parallel. It's a very bad paragraph. That was a fucking terrible paragraph.
I think I understood about 40% of it.
But yeah, the company that purchased the videogram and television rights to Perfect Blue before the film was completed advised the distribution to submit the film to the Fantasia International Film Festival in Montreal, Canada, so that it could be released overseas first.
Oh, Fantasia. Yeah,
Fantasia, my bad. My beads.
yeah. Y'all good.
Which we did. We actually had a VHS of this, and I think it was like in 2002.
Huh.
So it made its
Perfect
way
Blue?
to us. Yeah.
Huh.
I first
remember
watched it. Probably way too young.
Oh, yeah.
I think 11 or 12.
Learning
That's
fast.
fine. That's fine. That's
I
fine.
I didn't know. We're just like we saw it, me and a certain sister of mine. We saw the previews to it. We're like, oh, that shit, that looks crazy, and then I had no idea what I was in for.
Oh, yeah. In for
This aired
Dumbo
on
Triple.
this aired on Toonami one night randomly. That's how I first saw it. I was like, oh shit.
Mm.
And then I watched it again with that certain sister that you're talking about.
I don't
shit.
feel like when I watched it at that age, I feel like I didn't really retain any of it, and I was just very confused.
What the fuck I just watched?
Yeah, that was kind of the reaction, like, what happened?
That's the reaction you're supposed to have, though.
Gotcha.
I mean, still certain parts I was like, wait, what happened? I get the main gist of everything, but there's still some things I'm like confused about. But I'm sure that's intentional.
Yeah,
Mm.
and we might actually clear up that confusion when we go over the plot. Who knows?
Oh shit.
Since it was his first film, director Cohn was still unknown, of course. Therefore, the distribution introduced the film as the first directorial effort of a disciple of God damn it, Katsushiro Otomo, the creator of Akira, who had already become a hit overseas. Otomo is credited as a planning collaborator, but he never arranged for the company to ask Cohn to direct the film, nor was he involved in the film. So they just used his name to promote the movie.
When it's like a Quentin Tarantino presents kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or this famous person presents, but they didn't direct or produce or anything.
I'd do that if I was a big director. I'd just be like, hey, put my name on there. It seems cool.
Yeah, give me credit.
Oh yeah, until it backfires.
Slap Stephen King's name on it.
Well, you say give me credit after you see the box office results.
Yeah.
If you don't
Sure.
if you don't like the box office results, then you don't say give me the credit. You just get your legal team.
Handle it quiet.
However, it seems that Otomo once advised the original author about the circumstances of the animation industry when he was toting around the animation project here and there. At Fantasia, the film was so well received that a second screening was hurriedly arranged for those who could not see it. and it was eventually voted by the audience as the best international film. Fuck yes, it deserves it. It fucking
Yeah,
deserves
it
it.
seems like this one really has like a cult following and like was very well received by like a small amount of people, but like very strongly.
I
Oh yeah.
don't know any of Cohn's work that is perceived negatively. Like I think
Mm.
all of like if Satoshi Kon did it, it's loved, and that it's very unfortunate we only have like 4 movies that he did and one TV show because he could have done so much. But I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, after Paranoia Agent, I think he felt it was so complete that he didn't want to do another TV show. If I'm not mistaken,
Mm.
but he was
He's
working
He's
on
definitely
it.
well known enough.
the
He's
quality
definitely
not
well known enough to like because back when I worked at AMC, like we were still like there's two times or one time a year we do a like a a fest of like all his films too. Like we show them all.
Oh, nice. That yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely beloved. Like there's
Mm.
not. I wish he could have done his last movie, which was going to be what was it? Dreaming Machine, which was not gonna have any humans in it. It was just gonna be like a world that's inhabited by robots.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, it was gonna be like a It wasn't gonna be a psychological thing. It was gonna be a fantasy adventure. It's gonna be completely different than what he tackled.
Mm. Oh, that would be cool.
Oh yeah. But
No.
thanks to the distributor, thanks to it winning the best international film, the distributor began to receive invitations for more than 50 film festivals, including Germany, Sweden, Australia, South Korea. The distributor began negotiations with distributors in various European countries and eventually succeeded in selling the film in major markets such as Spanish, French, Italian, English, and German-speaking countries prior to its release in Japan. The distributor was successful in obtaining permission from filmmakers uh, Roger Corman and Irvin Keschner to use their comments in recommending the film free of charge worldwide. As a result, their comments were used on international theater flyers and in worldwide promotions. And as we brought up later, there was a rumor that the director Darren Aronofsky had purchased the remake rights for Perfect Blue. However, when he spoke with Cohn in a magazine in 2001, he stated that he had to abandon the purchase rights due to various reasons. It's because I know for a fact Cohn was not the biggest fan of Aronofsky.
because he pissed him off.
Oh yeah,
Mm. Oh yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
He
Pissed him
also
off because he would personally give credit, but not publicly.
oh yeah, that definitely that was very known that Cohn despised that. He's very very pissed about that.
Oh yeah.
Which
That'd be too.
he has every fucking right.
Mm-hmm.
He also said that it was a homage to the movie that his movie Requiem for a Dream had the same angles and shots as Perfect Blue, which is a goddamn fucking you stole you goddamn and shot for shot. It ain't It ain't. Oh, it's just the same.
I don't know. So I can kind of see where it's just like an homage and like he has appreciation for it. But when the creator of what you took and, gave homage to feels like you were stealing, I mean, I think you gotta address that publicly and
Yeah.
be like, hey, I didn't feel it was stealing. I just truly love this thing and wanted to pay homage instead of just being like, no, that's not what I did. No,
Hmm.
you
It,
gotta
Even
own
Dane
up a
Cook
little more.
apologized.
it just
You gotta, you
he
gotta
did
own
that.
up a little more. Just say,
That
hey, I was trying to do an homage, but it, you know, the creator did not feel like it was successful.
Hmm. Yeah, the very least.
Yeah, I
it
mean, you
was
can't
more like
really take it back.
I was homaging, and it just so happens that it looks the same. Whoopsie.
And then I did it again. Then I did it again with a future movie.
Yeah.
And even more, apparently, even with like the
Yeah.
plot even being a little bit more closer now.
Oh yeah,
Because I
yeah.
can kind of, because I can kind of understand, like, I just wanted to, you know, try to try to bring like elements of this thing that I loved into it, but
Yeah.
then like if you're gonna do it again, then you've learned nothing.
Yeah, because I feel like I think Reservoir Dogs. I always hear people say that it's basically a shot for shot of like some other movie that like he was a big fan of.
Yeah, and I
Like
feel like
almost.
was it the new Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix? I mean, it's so similar to Taxi Driver, like so
Yeah, it's
similar.
Taxi Driver and yeah, King of Comedy like mixed together.
Yeah, it's like they
But I feel like it
those two
it
movies
acknowledged
screwed.
that.
Yeah.
I feel like that was acknowledged.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, they
Pretty sure it
acknowledged that it
was.
was.
Yeah, he gave a public shout out to Scorsese.
But I guess, it's hard to know where to draw the line, but attitudes are important.
If you're gonna take your sample or something, you gotta at least, yeah, even if you
Give
don't give the
give the
money,
credit.
you gotta be like, hey, yeah, you gotta give the credit.
And that's the thing too. He gave no money.
Yeah.
He was even fucking trying to take the rights to his movie away. I bet
Yeah,
if he acquired the rights to Perfect Blue, he wouldn't even have acknowledged that it was originally Coen. He would just been like, "No, I just so happened to have used that title, and it looks like the movie."
And there's something that can kind of take advantage of, and it's both Japan and America like does it, like companies on both sides, is that like with the laws of like stealing something from like a different country, you could definitely you get away with it a lot more than if you did it in your own.
yeah.
It seems they could get away with like a bunch of copyright bullshit, like abusing systems and stuff, and then like, oh, you can't fight it. What are you gonna do? Come over here.
Which
Gotta show up to court.
shouldn't be how you treat another artist that you respect.
Yeah.
I don't think Darren Aronofsky respected Coen. I think that was the major problem.
No, that's the whole point. Yeah, is
Yeah.
that there wasn't respect given, there weren't dues given.
But I'm gonna make sure the dues are fucking given. Black Swan is a direct fucking rip of this goddamn movie.
I can't say that until I've watched it, so my opinion is held out till then.
But yes, let's before we get into the plot, there's a couple of things that I want to go over. The release schedule, as we went over, Perfect Blue premiered on August 5th, 1997 at the Fantasia Film Festival in Montreal, Canada, and its general release in Japan, and had its general release in Japan on February 28th, 1998. The film was also released on UMD by Anchor Bay Entertainment on December 6, 2005. It featured the film in widescreen, disgusting, leaving the film kept within black bars on the PSP 16 by 9. Oh yeah, that's why. Yeah, it's green. It was the the UMD.
I am glad that is not much of a thing anymore. The fucking widescreen.
Yeah.
It's
That was a fucking dark time.
How many movies has that ruined for the future?
Time.
Do you know how many fucking people would have? Do you know? It's like I was the only one that hated white. Everybody was like, "Oh, we gotta get the widescreen version." It's like, no,
Maybe in your
no.
circle, but I was there. I was there hating along with you.
Oh
I
yeah.
was real.
I wish we could have grown up together because it would have been better.
I always like the things that are filmed that weren't supposed to be widescreen, but then they adapt them. There's like extras like doing like weird shit on the sides because it wasn't meant to be seen.
But sometimes they fucking cut off the tops and bottoms of it to stretch it out too much.
Oh
It's
yeah.
annoying.
It's just like an instant, like, I'm not going to enjoy this viewing for me.
Yeah.
Those two
Yuck.
black bars are gonna be on the screen.
Yep.
This release also contains no special features and also the English audio track if you're interested in watching it on your PSP. The film was released on Blu-ray and DVD in Region B by Anime Limited in 2013. In the United States, Perfect Blue aired on the Encore cable television network and was featured by the Sci-Fi Channel on December 10th, 2007 as part of its Annie Monday block. In Australia, Perfect Blue aired on the SBS television network on April 12th, 2008, and previously sometime in mid-2007 in a similar time slot. Should have gave that date first, but okay. The film had a theatrical re-release in the United States by G Kids on December 6th and 10th, 2018, with both English dub and subtitle screenings. G Kids.
Yes,
I want to see the four
watched it.
kids cut.
I watched it on Shudder, and like the intro was like "G Kids." I was like, "Don't show this to kids." I don't know what G Kids is, but I don't think kids should be watching this. I was confused. I was like, "Did I put on the right movie? Why is this presented by G Kids?"
Oh my god. That's just perfect though.
A confusing name for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's G Kid. I think it's supposed to be GKIDS. But it's G Kids.
Maybe.
What else would that be?
I mean, it was the time. Maybe it's because like there was a time when like maybe they dealt with like predominantly like kid shows, and then they just kind of dealt with all animation as they went along. You know.
It's like the Wizards thing, like, "Oh, it's a cartoon. It's for kids."
It doesn't help that it's apparently an acronym for Gorilla. That's not gorilla. I know that. It's not gorilla. It's
Is it GUE gorilla?
Yeah, GUE.
Yeah,
That's gorilla.
Good. You pronounce it gorilla?
but not
Okay.
That's
not
like military.
like
Yeah, it's
gorilla.
military gorilla.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's Gorilla
that's-
Kids International Distribution Syndicate.
Yeah, those kids don't give a shit.
See? The kids.
Child soldiers.
Only the G was the acronym. It's not the kids.
I guess it's just run by child soldiers. So yeah, you can't. They don't give a shit. They've seen worse.
Um, but yes,
Shouldn't put it on for the like ape gorilla children either. You scare 'em. They're gonna sign. They're gonna sign to you. Don't like.
but yes, apparently G Kids and Shout Factory released the film on Blu-ray disc in North America on March 26, 2019. So you can go buy it, Gorilla Kids. You can go buy it.
Hell yeah.
Go buy it and show it to your kids. It's got kids in the name.
Sounds like a young rap group, like a little hip hop group, Gorilla Kids.
So apparently, in an analysis of Perfect Blue and Cohn's other works, Professor Susan Napier, Napier, Mapier, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that, states the Perfect Blue
IER. Maybe
announces its preoccupation with perception, identity, voyeurism, and performance, especially in relation to the female, right from the opening sequence. The perception of reality cannot be trusted, with the visual setup only to not be reality, especially as the psychodrama heights towards the climax. That Susan also sees themes related to pop idols and their performances as impacting the gaze and the issue of their roles. Mime's madness results from her own subjectivity and attacks on her identity. The ties to Alfred Hitchcock's works are broken with the murder of her male controllers. Otaku describes the film as a critique of the consumer society of contemporary Japan.
Otaku or Kotaku?
Otaku.
Okay. I was about to say, we don't give a shit about Kotaku. That's the same thing.
And that was just in the little analysis part. That
Yeah. I was just making a jab at Kotaku.
let's we're at that part where we are going over the I should have this pulled up. Rotten Tomatoes segment.
Oh, you got a real warp there. I wonder if that was because of the ad.
Oh, I think it's because I'm walking away from the house.
How dare you?
Just trying to water the plants.
Dave's still watering them plants.
You don't understand how many plants there are.
That's a lot of plants. That's even more
That's
than
what I'm
us.
saying. Oh, they have way more than us. Not to derail us, but there's 2 separate, like, giant beds that I have to run the soaker hose on, but there's only one soaker hose. Then they have fruit trees and, like, pots and pots and pots of plants and potatoes
Oh
and stuff.
shit.
But they
Got
basically
some
got, like, a
fucking
mini
trees.
farm.
Yeah.
They've got a mini farm, so yeah, I've been watering the whole time.
Yeah, they're vegans. They need it. They need all their stuff.
Yeah. But their plants look great, so.
Oh yeah.
Hey, do they have any Rotten Tomatoes?
No, they don't. They
Ayo.
have tomatoes, but they're not rotten.
Alright, so, but, I
Just
got
like-
some Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, I thought it was. We went the opposite way.
That's the name of the website.
Yes.
Alright, so apparently, the critics give it an 83%. Not bad. Not bad. Can't get mad.
Hey.
That's really good. I mean,
And-
especially for critics.
The audience
Oh, yeah.
gives it an 89%. So the audience is actually on point with this one.
Okay, yeah, we're in like the critics and the audience are pretty like in agreement.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
It doesn't happen
understand
often.
why the critics would give it a little bit of a lower score because they got stuff to compare it to.
Mhm. Sure. Oh, sure.
Yes, the film was received critically in the festival circuit, winning awards at the 1997 Fantasia Festival in Montreal and
Mhm, mhm.
Fan 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 Fanporto Film Festival in Portugal. Critic response, we already went over that. Okay, we can get into this. American performer Madonna incorporated clips from Perfect Blue into a remix of her song What It Feels Like for a Girl as a video interlude during her Drowned World Tour in 2001.
Oh,
That's
cool.
fun.
We know that
Uh,
Madonna's a fan.
And this is, I've already mentioned this, but this says American filmmaker Darren Aronofsky acknowledged the similarities in his 2010 film Black Swan, but denied that Black Swan was inspired by Perfect Blue, which is a fucking lie. Liar. uh, his previous film, Requiem for a Dream, features a remake of the bathtub scene for Perfect Blue, which he fucking denies, as we know, which is a goddamn
What?
lie.
No.
Well,
No.
I don't think he does deny that one, because he did say like he is quoted as saying, "I did see Perfect Blue as I was writing the script for Requiem for a Dream." And it is like the bathtub thing is a shot for shot, which like to me that's not that egregious. It is literally one scene. Like I think you can get away with that being an homage. I know it is
Mhm.
a scene for scene thing, but it's not the whole movie. I mean, it's like a few seconds.
But
I
he
Yeah.
think
didn't give
that's
the credit.
okay.
He didn't give the
No.
credit. That it goes out the window when you don't give the fucking credit.
That's
Mhm.
true. No, that's true. And I mean, I don't know. It just seemed like he, like once he realized he made Satoshi Kon mad, like he like doubled back instead of like
Yeah.
owning up.
He tried to call his fucking beef, and he tried to call his beef with the
Yeah.
wrong fucking person.
Because
Defensive delusion.
they talked about it personally. Like they went to dinner and talked about it personally.
Like I
And
don't
like
even. I,
Aronofsky was like real excited about it and like, I love you, like nothing but praise. And like Satoshi Kon was like, you stole it.
you
So,
fucking stole it.
Like, yeah, I don't
but
care how much you're
I don't
slipping on my
think
toes now.
I don't think he's denied the bathtub thing from Requiem for a Dream.
But yeah, yeah. All right, all right. Okay. Let me continue. A reissue. I'm not trying to end this segment, but a reissue
Oh, you're
blog
good.
entry mentioned Aronofsky's film Requiem for a Dream as being among Cohn's list of films he viewed in 2010. In addition, Cohn blogged about his meeting with Aronofsky in 2001, which Murda just went over.
A very brief, you know, not word for
Mhm.
word going over, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that is all of that information. I think we can get into the plot now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
it opens up with our character. I'm going to mess this name up, even though I've heard it 1,000 times. Mime,
Ema.
Kiriko, Mima Kirigo, a member of a J-pop idol group called Cham, which is definitely I I want to it's definitely a play on Wham. Decides to
Yeah,
leave
because I
the
think it has the exclamation point too.
yeah it is. It's all in
Mhm.
capes.
The
Uh,
Wham's a very different band.
Very different.
it is a very different band, but I I couldn't help but to think of that when I saw that. I was like, it's definitely
Mhm.
like paying homage to Wham with the.
Oh yeah.
But yes, she decides to leave the group to become a full-time actress. Many of her friends get frustrated and disappointed by her change from a clean-cut image, and particularly an obsessive fan known as Memoru Uchida or
Oh.
Mimania, who starts to stalk her. Following directions from a fan letter, Mima discovers a website called Mima's Room, containing containing a public diary entry written from her perspective, which has her daily life and thoughts recorded in great detail. During her
Which
former
when she first found was kind of funny because she was a little bit too chill at first for when she found that.
Oh yeah, she was kind of laughing about it, like, "How did you know that?" Haha.
yeah, like I would have been
it quickly
very
took.
disturbed.
It quickly took.
Oh yeah.
At during her former idol and acting career, she is joined by manager and former idol Rumi Hadaka and her agent Todokoro. Mima confides in Romy about Mima's room, but is advised to ignore it, which should have been a red flag.
Oh yeah.
Like you should have known something was up with Rumi as soon as she was like, nah, that eh.
Starfish did as soon as he
Yeah,
saw her.
Starfish. I'm not trying to jump ahead, but Starfish was not surprised by the twist.
No, not at all.
I I I mean, I don't think you're supposed to really if you're paying attention.
I was.
Like
I
it
was
I
surprised.
I don't know. I think it wasn't like too much of a like it's a red flag in that like she shouldn't be treated that way, but I don't think it was a red flag like regarding the twist because like everyone in her life is pretty dismissive of her.
Yeah,
she didn't
that's
go
what I kind of
over
got.
Mima's room. She didn't go over the website over with anybody else but Rumi. So it's not like we could have
Yeah.
got anybody else's
Oh
reaction.
no, I just meant like in general, like with all her choices and her as a person, people are very
Mhm.
dismissive of her.
I feel like the other guy, like, is even though he had a little bit of some scummy moments, but he still like showed some genuine like at least care towards what's her name? What's the main character's name?
Mima,
Nima or Mima?
Mima,
Mima. Okay, with Mima,
yeah, M
I feel like
M
yeah, if he
I
heard that, he would
M
have
A.
he would have did something about it,
Yeah, I
or at
think
least
he would have at least
warned her.
looked into it. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Uh,
yes.
Mima's first job is a minor role in a television detective drama called Double Bind. However, her agent lobbies the producer of Double Bind and succeeds in securing Mima a larger part that involves a rape scene. Oh, I hope YouTube is okay with me saying that.
Grape,
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
rape.
least it's not the first 5 minutes of the of
yeah.
the recording at least.
But yeah, it's very Very terrible scene. Despite Rumi's objections, Mima accepts the role, although this leaves her mentally distressed. On her way home, she sees her reflection dressed in her former idol. I I don't know. Okay, so I know Rumi gets mentally. I didn't think Mima was really disturbed by doing the scene, but
I felt
Oh,
like
she
she
this
definitely,
was.
this
she
is one of
definitely
the scenes that we got to go over because
was. It
what
is, but later, after the scene, she has like a scream cry about it, where she's
Yeah,
screaming, "Of course I didn't want to do it, but I have to,"
yeah,
like to
okay.
herself.
I just
yeah.
thought that that was her like
She had a good
talking
old
about
scream cry breakdown about the scene.
that
Yeah.
was her crying about going back to being an idol.
No,
Mm,
Okay. Okay.
no.
no, she
That
specifically says, "Of course I didn't want to do that."
all right. So
Yeah, because she played it off in the car like cool, not to worry, like the dude
Yeah,
or the
she
dude
she plays
manager.
it off, to all her like agents and stuff as like, yes, I will do it. I can do this. But when she's alone, she breaks down about it.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out why I wasn't aware that's why the breakdowns were happening. I thought the breakdowns were happening because she wasn't happy with her life in general.
That too, but
Yeah, that
there's
too.
there's a specific one I can point
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yes, the scene that we are seeing, I believe, is not the actual scene that is happening. I believe we are seeing the scene from Rumi's perspective, and she's having a weird PTSD flashback because this has happened to her. It's never mentioned or anything, but it it's mentioned in the script, like in the screenplay that's written, that she's an idol and that she she was in a strip club.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
believe that it's that what we're seeing is the PTSD flashback, and the
Mm.
I
reason
mean, I
why we're
think that's
seeing
definitely up to interpretation. They don't really clarify.
Yeah, because it definitely like melds like reality a little bit in this subtly, I'd say.
Yeah, especially as the movie advances, like things get
Mm.
less and less clear of what's actually happening.
Yeah,
and
but I could see how. Mm.
gotta mention by this time the tulpa is active as well,
Yeah.
because it, as we know, because this is Cone, there's got to be a tulpa.
Mm. Oh,
He's not gonna do a psychological movie without adding a tulpa into it, and they're definitely creating a Mima tulpa that's possessing
mm.
people.
It was hard to
Do
say if
all
there was even an actual tulpa, if that was also part of like her delusion too.
Yeah, there is, because Mima sees uh, the idol version of herself like skipping along in the air, just and she disappears.
True, but
it's
apparently, Murda pointed out at one point, like in some like when the during the chase scene, like if you see like apparently there's I missed it personally, but like in the reflection you could like actually see actually the actual like
Yeah,
what's
I
going
don't
on,
know if
like
we want
what's her
to
face.
jump that far ahead. I was trying to not because we haven't
Oh,
actually got to
sorry.
it. I mean,
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
That's fine.
Mm,
But I think that's also debatable of whether there is a tulpa.
I mean, a
yeah.
tulpa can possess people, and what we could be seeing is the possession and in the mirror the actual events that's happening.
Yeah, that's all I'm
I
saying
think
is I don't think there's a sure thing. Like I wasn't saying that there it definitely isn't a topo too, but I feel like there's actually room
I
for there
think there's
not being one as well.
a lot of room for interpretation.
Yeah.
But yes. Let's see here. Let me.
But I can
On,
describe that like once we get to that scene of like what I saw.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, on her way home, she sees her reflection dressed in her former idol outfit. The reflection claims that she's the real Mima. Between the ongoing stresses from the filming Double Blind, her lingering regret over leaving Cham, her paranoia of being stalked, and her increasing obsession with Mima's room, Mima begins to suffer from psychosis, in particular, struggling to distinguish real life from her acting life, and having repeated, apparently unreal sightings of her former self. Which I also want to say that the stalker is being contacted by
To somebody.
What's her name?
yeah, as well.
Yeah, I
The
know her name.
manager. Lady
I didn't know if
manager.
we were. I didn't know if we were revealing this twist yet.
Oh, we already
So
did.
okay, but yeah,
we
Rumi was contacting me Mania
mm,
and saying like, who this Mima that you're seeing is not the real Mima. She's like impersonating me and making bad choices. So
mm,
go
yeah,
go fuck her up.
yeah.
Alright, so several people who have been involved in her acting are murdered. Mima finds evidence in her closets which suggests her to be the prime suspect, and her mental instability makes her doubt her own memories and innocence. And this is what I want to go over. I know Rumi could have planted the evidence there, but I think this my interpretation of this little scenario here is evidence that the Tulpa possessed Mima and had her
And like jumped
kill
off of
dude
her
with the
on
ice pick.
onto the other chick. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're
I
definitely
got
gonna
you.
have different interpretations, but that's why this movie's fun.
Yeah, it is cool
That's
because
the
I mean
whole.
what you're suggesting is definitely in the realm of what a tulpa can do.
Oh yeah,
You know.
For sure.
I I wholeheartedly strongly believe because Paranoia Agent is about a tulpa.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, then you'll get a
But
perspective from someone who's not seen it as well.
But
because I could
yes.
definitely see this as like a more even more traditional way of a tulpa, like a tulpa in reality, where it's something weird that's happened. All these things that kind of coalesce together. There's a crazy person stalking one person, this person going crazy, and then you had another stalker, and they're just like but like it's like oh it could totally be done by a tulpa, but like maybe the tulpa is what is just our minds.
So during our final thoughts, we should also give our theories because I think they're all going to be different.
Yes.
They're all
Probably.
going to be different but similar.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, Mima finds evidence in her closet that makes her suggest that her prime suspect and makes her doubt her own memories and innocence as she recalls brutally murdering perverted photographer Moronimo. Then that right there is why I think she was actually the one that did it. 'Cause she strongly remembers doing it.
hmm
Like shit, it's not like re she couldn't have saw like a recording or watched Rumi do it. Like there's no evidence of psychic powers going on, and they
hmm
No,
never
but there's
address like
also
a
a thing
psychic
called
link.
false memory.
hmm
I said there's also a concept called false memories. Like
True.
false memories are also a thing.
That is
hmm
true, but that was some pretty strong false memories.
And also the madness of many
It,
when just a whole group of people go fucking whack.
Yes, they managed to finish shooting Double Bind, the final scene of which reveals that her character killed and assumed the identity of her sister due to trauma induced dissociative identity disorder. After the rest of the filming staff have left the studio, Mimania, acting on an email instructions from the real Mima to eliminate the imposter, attempts to sexually assault and kill her. But she knocks him out with a blow to the temple from a hammer. That's I don't think this is also another. She might have actually killed this guy, but it's apparently later.
Oh, I think she definitely killed this guy.
Later, Mimania is murdered by the real Mima for failing to kill Mima. Apparently, it wasn't.
Huh.
Apparently, it was.
I missed
Rumi.
that.
Yeah, I think it was I think it was Mima. I don't think it was Rumi. I think
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
because
Mima has
I
to
know
she
kill
she
just
someone.
moved the body.
else. There was 2 bodies, right? So there was
Yeah.
Delia, and then somebody else got killed as well.
It was
there
the
was multiple
director.
kills. There were
The
multiple
director.
No, it was
Well,
the
I know
manager.
I just meant in
The
that
manager
like,
guy.
that specific scene. Yeah.
Remember, it was the male manager.
Yeah.
But I interpreted that as like after Mima killed, the crazy stalker dude, that the quote unquote real Mima just moved the body after killing the other guy, like tucked them away. That's what I interpreted. Because we saw the bodies like put together with each other,
Yeah.
like later they're just like in the corner because no one
And,
ended up finding it.
and please call Crazy Stalker Man by his given name, Fishman.
Fishman, yes. Fishman.
All
But
right.
yeah, I interpreted that as that just he just got moved by the psycho lady.
All right. So apparently, Mima is found backstage by Rumi and taken back to Rumi's house, where she wakes up in a room modeled on her own, only to discover that Rumi was the culprit behind the website, the serial murders, and the fucking getting it full of. I can't pronounce this.
What's he spell?
Is it French?
FOL Folie.
The Folia Dude?
Folie Adu, I think, yes. It is also known as shared psychosis that manipulated and scapegoated Mimania. Rumi previously developed an alternate personality who believed herself to be the real Mima, using information from Mima confining in her as the basis for the website. She also reveals her motives. She is displeased by Mima's retiring from the idol industry and hence seeks to destroy and replace her in order to redeem her image. Which is kind of weird.
I just want to I was just going to clarify the fully ado thing. It means madness of two. It's a shared psychosis between 2 people, and the psychiatric syndrome where symptoms of a delusional belief are transmitted from one individual to another.
And this, I want to say, this is
Last Pod does a good episode on it.
Oh yeah,
They do.
I want to say this is a case of a psychosis of 3 though, because Mima going crazy too. She's suffering from it too.
But as you'd remember from the last podcast episode, that it was I forget there was a second name for it, but it's still the same thing. general thing because there's like they even talked about like a
Oh
whole
yeah,
a
because
whole
a whole
village that went
yeah
crazy.
that
Yeah,
whole family
there's
fucking went nuts.
Whole family, whole
there's
villages.
folie à deux, folie à trois, folie quatre, and folie en famille, family madness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or folie a, I don't know French, y'all. It's folie a blah blah blah, which means madness of several.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
French is not something I know how to pronounce.
But folie à deux is easier to say.
yeah.
Well, I took the folie à deux as Mima and Rumi, not of
Yeah.
Fishman, because Fishman is just he's just stalker crazy and being
He's a little
told.
bit more of a tool. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
he's a
already
pawn.
crazy.
He's he's Rumi's pawn.
Mm.
I I have a feeling that Tulpa is showing herself to him in some scenes.
Possibly. Maybe possibly.
But where was I? Where was I? Redeem her image
Yes, I'm
at
sorry.
her wits' end. Rumi's Mima personality chases Mima through the city to murder her. Mima accidentally. That this does not happen. Mima does not incapacitate Rumi with a mirror shard during the struggle. Rumi just flips the fuck out and impales herself on the glass.
Yeah, she uh she does that to herself
Oh yeah. That's pretty funny.
with a smile on her face,
Oh yeah.
which makes me
That's
creepier.
I gotta say, that is the only part of the movie that makes me go, the fuck's going on there? Like, what's...
I could see that happening, like someone in such a psychosis that they just reach over and just like totally not like. Especially, you'd be surprised of like how far deep you could get stabbed before you kind of realize it too.
I don't know. It's just so
Yeah,
sudden.
in shot.
It's just so sudden
Yeah.
and so random. It's like there's no call for her even going in that direction whatsoever. It's just like what's
Well,
happening there?
I thought it
it was
was because she
because
was seeing lights, like spotlights.
uh,
I know that's
that's why she got hit by a car. But the
Yeah.
second time was because her outfit wasn't her like whatever the thing on her head got
her
thrown.
wig, yeah.
Her wig got thrown off, so she wasn't in character anymore. So she went to grab the wig and leaned into the, the glass.
And I have to cut in because this is the scene we were talking about of when the supposed Tulpa is chasing Mima. We see a glimpse of the Tulpa in a shop window, and it is a sweaty Rumi who is like pumping real hard to run after her, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
super
Yeah,
sweaty.
what I'm saying is the Tulpa has possessed Rumi, and what we're seeing is the possessed version of her, and in the mirror we're seeing the real Rumi.
Yeah.
I want to see what Rumi looks like when the Tulpa is floating.
Yeah.
It's
For
not,
sure.
that's
I
not
wanna see
the
those
Tulpa. The Tulpa's not always in Rumi. The Tulpa is that's just the Tulpa that's floating in midair.
Yeah, but the Rumi Tulpa, like during the chase, does some floating too. But I think she's just like slamming down onto the buildings, just like Mima is.
Yeah, that's what I think too, and that's why our interpretation is pretty much the same as yours, other than that we just think like what the tulpa is the delusion that Mima sees.
Yes.
All right, so
That's being shared between both of them.
yeah.
Let's watch Twin Peaks.
Yes.
We definitely need to. It's coming.
Someday.
All right, so incapacitates herself with a mirror. After freeing herself, Rumi hallucinates the lights of an oncoming truck as stage lights and steps out onto the road to pose in front of the approaching vehicle. But Mima manages to save her from being ran over at the last moment. With that, Mima's hallucination seems to be over.
Well, Mima is a better person than I, because I would have just let her get hit by a car.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't try to save her. Like, no,
You don't even have to be happy about it. You don't have to throw your body. You can be
nah,
like, oh
I ain't throwing
no,
my body.
on the side.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised she didn't bleed out. Anyway, because she
Yeah,
Yeah.
impaled
from
herself on a
stomach.
pretty
Yeah.
thick, long piece of glass. Like, that thing was longer than 3 inches.
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
Though you'd be surprised what the human body
Especially when
can
that
go through.
adrenaline's going.
Oh yeah, when you're getting toppled.
You
But,
get the adrenaline is the hope and the delusion.
yes, sometime later, Mima is now a well-known actress and visits Rumi in a mental institution. Rumi's doctor says that she still believes she is a pop idol most of the time. Mima says she's learned a lot from her experiences thanks to Rumi. As Mima leaves the hospital, she overhears 2 nurses mention her. They think that she is a lookalike and a lookalike as the real one would supposedly have no reason to visit a mental institution. As Mima enters the car, she smiles at herself in the rearview mirror before declaring, "No, I am the real one."
Yep, you don't know nothing about actors, do you? We break down all the time.
And I know we watched the Japanese, the subtitle version, which, but I want to go over the English dub, which only has 4 known voice credits. Uh, Mima is voiced by a Ruby Marlowe. If you must know who she voiced, she has voiced a shit ton of shit. But primarily, she does Patamon in Digimon.
Is that a Digimon? Oh yeah, they do talk actually, don't they? They don't just
Yeah.
like Pokemon it.
Yeah, they actually talk. They're not Pokemon. They don't just say their name over and over.
She also plays Crystal in Paranorman, which is a nice stop motion
Oh yeah,
movie.
who's Crystal? In that was that the babysitter?
Apparently, she is the parachute. Oh, the parachute ghost. The ghost that's stuck in the tree.
Okay, okay,
I don't think I've ever seen
interesting.
Paranormal.
Pretty
Rumi
good.
is voiced by Wendy Lee.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't know if everyone lost you, but I did.
Oh,
I sure
well,
did too.
I
Might have showed up on the recording as well.
I heard
I-
Might want to
Wendy.
repeat.
Wendy Lee.
Yeah.
She is voiced by
Okay.
Wendy Lee. Y'all should know this one.
Y'all should know this one.
I don't know if I do though.
Who's
I
winning?
don't think I do.
Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
I'm-
okay.
I'm so disappointed in y'all.
Well, I don't know. I don't know voice actors. I don't know their names. Other than the dude who's like, I don't see. I don't even know Spike's voice actor's name, so he can't even be mad.
Damn.
I just know that. I just know who the characters that he does. I can't picture his name.
There's also a Bob Marks plays as Sukuguria. And no, that's Sparky. Why the fuck did they do that to me? Bob Marks plays Mimania, and Sparky Thornton plays Sukuria.
Were y'all like as surprised as I was at Me Mania's Fishman at his voice? It was so much higher, which made it so much creepier.
No, he looked about how he
I
sounded
just I guess
how he
I
looked to
wasn't
me.
like
He
I
definitely
didn't know what I was expecting.
that I mean, I can't say
It
that
was
when I first saw this, no, I didn't expect that voice. But now that I know that that's basically what an otaku sounds like, yeah, Stereotypical otaku.
I mean, every aspect about him just kept making him like scarier and scarier to me because I was like, oh, I don't want to hear that voice. I don't want to see his smile. I don't want to see him
Otakus would make
staring.
you very uncomfortable because they do. Because that's the problem with him. Like, yes, he is a stalker, but if he didn't stalk her, like if we didn't see the stalking, he could just be an otaku, like a very very. I'm gonna like this is his hobby. Like this pop idol, there's just being a fan of this pop idol group is
Did
his
did
hobby.
they all have like 5 inches between their eyes?
Sometimes, or sometimes they're too close.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's the
They got
exact
their- They
opposite.
got the rat. They got the rat, not the fish.
Yeah. Is you get your rats, you get your fishes. I mean, I've seen a lot of these guys like as lolcows online, like full on, like you'd feel bad if you didn't know that they were also like sexual predators, you know.
Some,
Like
yeah,
that's why
sometimes you get the-
it didn't surprise me because this is how they sound. It's very like oh, you know, like an incel. Like that's why that stereotype is out there. That's what it's just how it is.
I don't think this is the world I need to know about.
No, you don't need to know about. You don't need to know about all those people. It's best if you. Luckily, a lot of them don't go outside.
Yeah, they have been permanently banned to the internet.
I mean, somebody should,
They cannot
somebody
leave their
should have
bedroom.
don't let him out of the tank.
No,
Stay in there.
you stay in the fish tank.
What some of them would call their fart room.
Yes,
Yeah, you
or
stay
the
in there.
goon station.
Oh yeah, the gooning station.
Welcome to the goons.
Unless they're one of the few no-fap ones that think that the fact that they're not masturbating can make them fly.
That's only in November. That's only in November.
No, no-faps all around. Those are the dudes that take it even further. I mean, they fail all the time. That's why they never have disproven the fact that they can't fly. But they always say like, oh, if you don't have any orgasms and keep clean and just keep your sexual energy to yourself, then you could like fucking like float like fucking
Hey, I
fuck, I forgot his name.
haven't been
Hey,
able
what's
to
his name?
do. I haven't been able to do the more.
Ashihara.
Yes, Ashihara. I haven't been able to. I was
Yeah.
about to reference him. I haven't been able to do the fuck. What's the step? The step with the strange lady. the 81 thrust. I haven't been able to do that yet.
Oh yeah.
But once I manage to do that, I will let you know if you can actually fly or
I want evidence.
not.
Yeah.
More bandas. The more bandas. I haven't been able to do them yet.
If you want to look at my plants, they're in the.
You gotta
The
do
garage.
81 of them. After 8 long weeks
No.
of no fapping.
No fat.
This is standard cult leader stuff. You gotta know this.
Oh yeah. You gotta know.
Alright, so I think we've done it. I think this is the moment where I go, hey, final thoughts?
Oh yeah.
Who wants to go
Oh
first?
yeah, who wants to go first?
I'll go next. Give me 1 second.
Um,
I
Smokey, do you
guess-
want to go last? Is that
I mean, I can go first. I
Okay.
don't think...
go first?
Alright, so, if it's not obvious, 5 out of 5 for me. Satoshi Kon can't do no wrong. There's no such thing as a bad Satoshi Kon work. We have very few of his works, unfortunately, to say, because yes, he was taken away from us due to pancreatic cancer in 2010. But yeah, it's just the animation's great. the story. I just when it comes to psychological stuff, it tickles that little that little nerve that just it's satisfying. It's yeah, it's you go watch it. Go fucking watch it. You'll know why it's perfect. It's there's a reason why it's called Perfect Blue. Because it's fucking perfect.
And do you want to lay out your entire theory as well?
Yeah, my theory is well, I can sum it up to I totally believe the delusions that is going on with the stalker of him believing he is communicating with the real Mima and having this fantasy of I'm gonna be with her and everything, and Rumi and her DID and her believing that she is Mima and everything, and Mima doubting herself and being fed both the stalking and the website and everything is manifesting the energy into a tulpa, and that tulpa is what's called is taking like all tulpas do, which is very dangerous. That's why we gotta make sure we keep track of that Russian cult that's trying to generate the hack wrench gadget hack wrench tulpa. Gotta make sure nothing happens to them, because tulpas are very dangerous and they will take a mind of its own. And this tulpa just wants Rumi to exist because Rumi wants to be an idol, and that's what the tulpa wants to be. So it's possessing Rumi and trying to eliminate Mima, because Mima is the only thing that could make the tulpa not exist.
I agree with you. I think because like also since tulpas after a certain point they start getting their own like thoughts and they pursue their own like goals and they and shit like that. You gotta and they also have their own emotions. So like gotta watch out for the gadget hacker wrench thing. A lot of those people they're really horny for that character. I don't know what type of PTSD that tulpa is gonna have and how angry it's gonna be when it comes out. How much sexual rage it's gonna have from all those nerds. So yeah, definitely gotta watch out for that tulpa.
Oh yeah, you can't. Yeah, I mean, you can't fucking be tulpamancing all willy nilly. It's very dangerous. It never ends well.
Especially with sexual energy. Watch out with that.
Yeah, sexual energy is powerful.
And they're horny for that. They're horny for that tiny mouse. They are horny for that tiny mouse.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what that means, but
there's
sure
a gadget hack wrench is from the Chipmunk show, the Rescue Rangers. She's a little female mouse.
And there is a Russian cult.
Not what I thought you were gonna say.
There is a Russian cult that is legitly trying to generate a tulpa of her. Like they have announced it online,
yes.
And they are,
so they can have sex with it.
Yes.
Oh no.
They have announced it online, and they desperately want people to help.
Yes. It's a diverse group, though. There's a surprising amount of ladies in there.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 chicks in the group.
Ladies can be monsters too.
Oh yeah, they kind of look about how you'd expect.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're the kind of ladies that have the vor fetish where they want, or the insertion fetish where they want to insert a human being inside.
They definitely have they're definitely the type of ladies that got a little bit more testosterone than most other ones. They got a little bit more body hair, I think. That's from what I saw.
And they're pretty serious too. They hold events and everything. Like they're really trying. It's if they succeed.
Yeah, if tulpas are real, they're gonna do it. Yeah, tulpas are real. They're gonna do it.
God. Well, I mean, is that, how we can gauge if tulpas are real or not? Because if it ever
I
happens,
mean, we
then...
haven't heard from
Yeah.
them in a
Or
while,
would
so
they
that's
would
a
they not
bad thing.
would they
That's a
not
bad
tell?
sign.
Yeah, would they not tell us? They would just go silent because they got
I,
what they wanted.
I mean, if they go silent, either they succeed. I mean, yeah, if they gone silent, that's the only thing like they succeeded.
It's like
Like,
it's like a toddler when they're silent. That's when you know they're really up to something.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, either they're having the time of their lives, or the tulpa has turned it violent, and we're not going to hear from them anymore because the tulpa done
Or
murdered them.
they're currently being beaten by a tiny wretch to death.
It could go either
Well,
way.
that's not. I didn't think I was gonna hear anything like that tonight, but
I'm
Hey,
surprised you
Yo,
haven't heard that. Lost Podcast is covered it a couple times on Side Stories.
oh, I'm not.
Cult.
I'm still like. I think I'm like 6 episodes behind or something.
Oh no, not any new ones. They did on a lot of
Uh,
old ones. They talked about it. It's kind of old news, a little
this
bit.
is
We
just
haven't
something
heard.
that
We haven't. We're waiting on them to do it. Still.
I look at their website every so often because they do have a blog that they post like pictures and stuff.
anyway,
Yes.
did you
Yeah, that's 5 out of
did you
5.
finish?
Yeah,
Okay.
5 out of 5 for me. If we can, totally suggest God tier.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to be the one that breaks that.
Boo.
I
Boo.
You know what? We can't always get what we want, can we? I think this is a great movie, but I don't think I can give it a 5. I There was just something that made me too upset. And yes, it was the rape scene. Not that I
Mhm.
thought it wasn't necessary. I do, and not that I thought it shouldn't have been shown. I'm okay with it being shown. It was too fucking long, and I was getting mad of how long and gratuitous it was. We could have shown it and it not have been so fucking long.
Should have cut at
But
least 20 seconds. Yeah.
oh, it was more than 20 seconds.
Hmm. At the very least.
And I don't want to go back and time it, but it was more than 20 seconds. It went on and on and on. And
Yeah, I said
like,
they could have cut 20 seconds off of it.
oh, I thought you said it was only 20 seconds. I was like,
No,
no.
no, no, no. No. I was saying they could have cut 20 seconds at least.
And there are movies to me like where I just get mad because that type of scene wasn't necessary. It didn't do anything for the plot. Or I think they could have just implied something without like graphically shown it. I don't even feel that way about this. Like
Hmm.
again, I'm not mad that they showed it, and I do think that it was pivotal to the plot. But it was too fucking indulgent and too long.
I,
And
Yeah, I
I
think you
think the
agreed about like it should have ended about when that one lady like was crying and left the room, and it showed
right
like the
when
other
when
director really like
when
upset too.
yeah, when Rumi ran out of the room because she was upset about it, yeah, it could have ended there. But it just
But it
kept
kept
going.
going.
It kept going.
I
And
just
Hmm.
want to
I gotta take, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say I think the length is justified because the scene is intentionally supposed to make you uncomfortable, and they really wanted to hammer that home. They wanted to make sure the audience gets uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And that's, I mean, success. But I think that we would have been uncomfortable no matter the length of just the nature of it. And I do think the reason why I'm not mad at it just being in there and being shown is because, like, we really needed to see how bad it was for her to be so upset about it. And, like, it was worthy of a psychotic breakdown. But I just, this is not a long movie. Um, this is less than an hour and a half long. and it was too long. I mean, that's my opinion. I've got to take a point off, like, just for how fucking long
Oh,
it
a
was.
whole
And
point? A whole point?
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, I said
Ouch.
I'm giving it a four.
I I support it. She's pulling the what I call the 13 law of I was too uncomfortable that I probably still don't really want to like watch this anytime soon,
And
even though I can acknowledge that it's a good movie.
since these are personal ratings, not, not critical ratings, that's just how I feel about it. And I do appreciate that they had the male actor that was doing that to her, like, apologize to her. Like, I actually did appreciate that.
Hmm.
But I just, I don't know. It was too long. Um, it was very rough, and any scene is rough, but it was too much, too long. Um,
Hmm.
but I mean, there's a lot of this movie, like, that makes up for it. So
Yeah.
that's why I gotta give it a four. I think that both Mima and Rumi were having delusions. I think the tulpa was not a physical tulpa. Um, it was always the physical being that was actually chasing Mima was always Rumi. I do think there were times where that delusion was not Rumi. Like when Mima saw her, like, in windows and stuff, like, that is just Mima's own mind creating that
Hmm.
image. Like, it's not always Rumi. But I think every time that they are physically together, that it is Rumi, and I don't think that there is a Tulpa possessing Rumi. I think she did mention, and it was mentioned that Rumi used to be an idol as well. So I think she is just seeing Mima and seeing Mima do things that she does not agree with because she wants to live vicariously through Mima. So
Hmm.
she is obviously not a well person. She has something going on. We
Oh
can
yeah.
tell by her eye spacing that something's not right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
That's what.
that's why I didn't. Oh fuck.
Yeah,
You have to cut that
oh,
out.
it's okay.
Starfish. Yeah. Starfish. Starfish
That's
didn't
why. That's why I think
didn't.
Starfish caught on to the twist
Mhm.
real quick because the way Rumi was drawn, she was not drawn favorably, and, like,
No.
anyone in this movie who was not drawn favorably was, like, bad. Uh,
Mhm.
so I think that kind of gave it away of, like, the way her face was drawn.
Very Lovecraft.
If they had made her prettier and more proportional, then it would have, like, been more surprising. Though I think the first time I saw this, I didn't see that twist coming, but I didn't really know what was going on at all. So there's that. I knew it was coming this time, so I can't really accurately say whether I would have known or not as an adult. But anyway, yeah, I don't think there was a physical tulpa. I think Mima was having a psychotic break just of the pressure. Everyone was making decisions for her and, like, trying to run her life while dismissing her. And she was going through, like, horribly stressful. Then she's getting stalked. She's doing this horrible R scene that obviously affected her. Um, so I think she was having a break and Rumi was having a separate break. And they
Mhm.
just clashed together.
Folie à
Um,
deux.
yes, the folie à deux. But that's my theory. I mean, there was very effective horror. Like, I did enjoy this movie. Four is a great rating. Don't don't take it personally. Four is a great rating.
Mhm.
Um, I
I agree.
was I was definitely
Mr.
scared. I was
Satoshi
scared by.
Kon deserves the god
Okay.
tier.
You know what the better one is.
Maybe I'll watch Paranoia Agent and give that a god tier. or Paprika or something, because I do have to watch.
I mean, I can say there won't be a long a long scene like this. There's a disturbing piece of information in Paranoia Agent, but there is not
Oh yeah.
a hard R scene.
No.
But
Yeah.
there
I
is
just
there
I
is a
needed a little bit more restraint.
there's
Somebody
Yeah.
needed to tell
disgusting
him to
father
cut.
you gotta
cut.
look out for.
Yeah. Hey, we should. No, I can't say what I was about to say. But food might have known. Um, but what was? Oh, yeah. I was like, the reason I think this is like horror adjacent is like I was effectively scared. I was effectively scared of Fishman. It was really creepy, like the stalking when she came back to her apartment and all her fish were dead. Like that hit me hard. That was definitely a horror moment to me.
Hmm.
And just like reading the blog of like every step she made of her buying a certain brand of fish food, like that was very effective horror to me. So,
As a woman, it was a horror.
as a woman, I must say, yes, it was an
Yeah.
effective horror as a woman. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, I like it was scary, and the mind fuck was great. It got more and more like fucky as we went along, to where like we didn't even know what was happening, and I think that can be up to interpretation too of like, did this our scene actually happen the way it did, or was that her, thinking it was something? I think it actually did happen, but I understand the interpretation
I
that it
know that it
didn't.
actually happened. My theory is just what we're seeing is Rumi's PTSD flashback, and it's not the actual scene because the
Right, I understand what you're
we
saying.
get those photo shots. We see those photo shots of Mima's naked, and she's in a completely different environment. She's not in a strip club or anything. She's on a bed, like she's in a bedroom on those photo shots.
Yeah,
And I
but
think those photo shots
but
are related to the
the
scene.
photo shoot was
The,
different from the TV scene though.
yeah, because I
It
think
was
those came from when remember
I thought it
the
was supposed to be
pervy
There,
promotion.
photographer because they
I
had him
thought it
on
I
the
thought it was
bed.
promotion
no,
shots.
those were separate. Those were separate. So she was doing a photo shoot for a magazine, and that's where that came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
My
the R scene was for the TV show, like specifically a scene in the TV show. The nude shots were from a photo shoot that she did.
yeah, my interpretation was that the photo shoot was like principal photo shooting for the scene that they were going to take cuz that does happen. They take photos and stuff to
No,
see
to
Yeah.
me
what
that
angles they want.
I to me that was separate because like before she even went to that photographer, there was like two ladies like, oh, it was like the other Cham members being like, I heard like that photographer always gets them to like get naked and stuff. So like I think that was a separate thing. But again, I mean,
Keep
so much
keep talking
so
for a
much
second. I'm gonna pee real quick.
okay, so much of this movie can be like interpreted in certain ways, and like we don't exactly know because I mean, once we
Yes.
get more and more into the movie, like they're starting to call her Mima and like in the TV show when she wasn't before, right? Like that happened.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah. So like things keep
What
getting
is
blurred.
reality?
Yeah, it is a
what
what is
is
reality thing. And I think Mima did kill one person. She killed Fishman. She didn't kill anybody else. I
I
think
think she
Rumi
killed the
killed everybody else.
photographer. I strongly think she killed the
I think that
photographer.
was Rumi because, that he's tarnishing Mima's image and Rumi is taking that personally because she thinks she is Mima.
Maybe,
But
but
I mean again, like nothing was super clear. That's just like how I feel. I think Mima herself only killed Fishman.
I just want to say
And then it had me
I can't subscribe
Yeah.
to the false memory, false that her killing the photographer was false memories, because there's nothing really to suggest that it was like there's more evidence pointing that she did do it than
But that is part of the folie à deux, the shared psychosis of, thinking that you have done something
it,
that you haven't
if
done.
only I know Satoshi Kon probably wants it to be ambiguous, so there isn't. If I just need some detective or something going, yeah, Rumi killed all the
I was
but there
also
isn't.
wondering about that because to me, Mima only killed one person, but I wanted to see like the police procedural after, where like, yeah,
There's
there's
nothing.
this, there's
We
this
don't get
total like
anything.
body count, and like if Mima actually did kill Fishman, did she fess up to it, or was she just like, yeah, that must have been Rumi too. No need for any more questions.
But
So
we
I was
don't get
wondering about
any of the
that. Maybe
investigation process whatsoever.
none of it. Yeah, none of it whatsoever. But I mean,
Hey,
she should have been fine because like it was total self defense.
oh yeah,
But
for
it just
sure.
never said like, hey, do we like did we investigate this? I'm sure there was some investigation. And I can just imagine her being like, yeah, Rumi did all of it. I didn't do a single thing.
I mean,
From
That's
what I
what
Rumi's
I
know
would
about
off
think.
light.
Japanese
She's in a
police, they
very
probably they
clean
probably let
mental
it.
institution.
They probably bunched it up all together, knowing how. From the little bit of Japanese crime I've looked at, it's
Yeah.
it's pretty
I
much
mean, he
pretty
deserved
much
it.
like where we were in the 80s.
He had it coming. So,
Yep, for
but
sure.
anyway, go ahead, Stooge. Now it's you.
All right, all right. I did enjoy this. I probably wasn't. May have been a little bit like I probably should have
Oh shit.
watching it. I was getting a little confused as we're going.
Your audio's getting a little fucky,
I,
Spooge.
okay, I didn't know if that was just me. You went completely silent, Spooge.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's because that's because my phone is on me. One second. Let me put it right in the center here. Can you
I
hear
didn't
me?
hear a god dang word you said. Now I can, yeah.
Okay, good, good. I for some reason I was stupid and picked up my phone. I need to keep it over there where the internet's good.
Don't touch it.
Um, don't touch.
Start over.
Yeah, as I said, uh, when I first watched this, I probably should have watched this a little bit more sober. Because I definitely wasn't like following along very well for like the first, at least for the first like half of it. Like it kind of took me a while to feel like, okay, they're kind of purposely melding like the show and reality together to a point where like
Yeah,
everything threw me off.
you were confused about the TV show before it actually got confusing.
Yeah, I was. Like, wait a minute,
Oh,
who the
that's such
fuck
a
is? Because then I'd see them talking about like another case of a murder, and then like it'd go to the show murder, and I'd be like, what the fuck's going on?
that's so good though. That's such a great way to.
Yeah. So I was I had a very layman's experience of this movie as we were going on because I didn't even suspect what's her name, Fish Eye Lady.
That's good. The twist wasn't wasted on someone.
I just thought like, oh yeah, it's kind of funny that she is. It's kind of suspicious, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, we were
but it
we was
seems,
just roasting her face.
but I kind of got fooled by like right after or during the R scene when she was crying. Like I felt like that was like genuinely like from a friend, and I was like, oh okay, no, she's fine. She's just she's watching her friends like go through it, and it's awful. And then since she had my support at that point, I didn't suspect her at any point.
I mean, I agree with you. I also thought, I mean, it it's hard because I already knew the twist, but like I thought that was accurate. Of like, if I saw my friend doing that, I'd probably cry too.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, because that's
I'm
because
Be like,
fully in the
this
same
is going
boat,
too
but
far.
it's just knowing the twist. It's like, oh.
and because like beforehand, like I think before that all happened too, like when she mentioned the website to her, and she was like, "Oh, don't worry about it." I was a little suspicious, but then then the other scene happened, and I was so shocked from that too. And also, I also agree with Murda. It went on a little. I feel like it was still pretty long because like even up to where I think they should have just cut it to where they had what's her name? It starts with an
Mima,
N. Nima. Thank you.
Mima,
Um, Nima. Am I saying it
Mima,
right? Nima.
Mima,
Nima. Mima. No, no, that's not who I'm saying. Not
Rumi,
Mima. Who's the crazy chick?
Rumi.
Rumi. Thank you. That's who I'm looking for.
Remember, like Rumi between the eyes. There's a lot of room there.
Yes, a lot of room between the minds. Yes. With Rumi, now I forgot where I'm at. where was I going with?
Oh, the too lengthy of our scene.
Yes, I did think that was a too lengthy of a large scene. I think that they should have, like, when Rumi was crying, and like left. I think that's probably when it should have cut. Like you have one little clip back to what's going on, and then you cut. But it did go on a little bit too long, I thought. Though now, actually going back to when we had our discussion, if anyone was there for the pre-show, this is why you got to be here for the pre-show. We were talking about kind of like the shocking things that can be like shown on like Japanese television. I think maybe the sort of disrespectful length of the scene, the gratuitousness of it, kind of actually reflects off of a lot of like things that were on television back then. Because I can think of like a lot of traditional like Japanese shows that were like old school Japanese shows that just had really lengthy, awful R scenes that involved a protagonist that we're supposed to be rooting for, like doing it too, and like that was kind of a thing. Like it was sort of a soft core way of like showing porn on
Which I
on the
despise.
TV. Yeah, which is awful. Which I sort of think was sort of the now that I'm going back and kind of looking at the scene, I kind of think was a parody of that in a way too, of just keep showing it, because that's like that's
We
part of the
did
what that's parodying is like these shows that to show the smut on TV.
we did
Like
go
what
over that
he,
Cone was using this to be a commentary
yeah,
on Japanese TV.
yeah, and that too, yeah. Like this is definitely a commentary on Japanese TV, and that the fact that it does go along too long and is like to the almost to the point when it's pornographic is sort of necessary, because that's what it's making fun of. It's uh, trying to think of the word
Satirical.
that it yeah it's satirical, that it's talking about, like this bullshit, that's this smut that's on television,
Yeah.
that's
Which
copied. There's a lot of things like
our
this.
R
This
should
is a
never.
trope.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like this exact type of scene is like a trope in like animes and like certain things of like Japanese crime films too, you know. So that does kind of give me another point. I'm giving this a 4.5 personally, because I enjoyed it a lot, and I think there's a lot of those elements he's been exploring, especially with the Tulpa and stuff. I thought it was really good, but I think it's things that he refines later. Again, I because whenever if I want, like thinking of like Paranoid Agent, like Paranoia Agent is like my perfect of Satoshi Kun. You know,
Oh yeah, I can
um,
stand. I see where you come from. I completely understand.
yeah, yeah. hmm And I think this was like probably the fact that this was a directorial like debut almost, right?
Yeah,
This
this
is, I
was
mean, at least for a
this was
movie.
his, this was his
Yeah.
first directorial debut. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Like, it's, I mean, like, maybe like 5 out of 5 for that, but like for my own personal like enjoyment, I definitely have a lot of the same issues that Murder has. But I would say 4.5. I think I got it.
All right. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I I am much more satisfied with Spooge's rating than Murda's. Still high ratings. Still high ratings. But
Sorry, the
that,
the vodka was kind of kicking in there last minute.
I just feel that taking the whole point off is a little harsh for this, especially Satoshi
Well.
Kon. But yeah,
I gave it my 13
There
rating.
are ratings that I wouldn't agree with from you either. So
Yes, I know.
Oh, damn.
But I understand they are much more egregious.
Mulholland Drive.
But yes,
Lighthouse.
hey, we gotta redo Lighthouse because Lighthouse is
I didn't
gonna
say
get Lighthouse is gonna get a different rating than what it get. It's gonna get a different rating, especially because of Inside. Inside exists.
Though
now.
I'm gonna just make the announcement now, just because unfortunately we probably, for any reviews at least, we won't not be seeing Starfish. He's been real busy with school. He doesn't have a lot of time on his hands, but hopefully I can still get more people for the Lighthouse review because I need backup.
yeah, I'll
need
come
some
on the
backup.
Lighthouse review.
We need it to be different. We both.
Yeah, I know.
Or else it's just gonna be the same.
The Lighthouse review is in August,
Mm,
so we got
Yes.
some time for that.
we got some time.
Are we also doing Inside? Because the people that do the Lighthouse review have to do Inside, remember? Because we were going to compare them.
I didn't have it on my birthday list, but we could do it the month after. August. What is it? September.
Yeah.
We don't have a weird thing. We don't have a theme for September, do we?
No, we don't.
We just have October and November, right? That's really cemented.
Yeah. And, well, we got to do holiday films in December.
I meant November when I said September. Yeah. Yeah, in December too, yeah. So no, November's are kaiju month.
Yeah, November is definitely Kaiju month. I'm excited for it. But, yeah, I think we done it. I think I can get into the outro now.
Yeah, we done did it.
All right. If you've been listening to us this long, thank you so much. Please leave a like, comment what you think about Perfect Blue in the comment section below. And I am forgetting something. Subscribe to the channel. That will be great. Turn on notifications. Oh,
Comment.
I forgot to say share. Share the video.
Share, comment.
Yeah.
Comment and share. Hey, if you have any type of thoughts, you're like, hey, I don't like the sound of that little fucker's voice, that fucking fucker Spooge. Put it in the fucking comments. Give us some fucking, get us out there. Comments help.
101 subscribers and we don't get any interaction.
Yes.
I wonder what we're doing wrong.
Where is our me mania? Where is our me mania?
We gotta have one.
Where's our
There's gotta be one.
He's getting closer.
Oh no. I take it back. I don't want
He's ready to give us his fisheye gaze.
fish and face will haunt my dreams and thoughts.
He's gotta do his camera like the train guy. That'd be great. I think this is the part where I go, does anybody have an outro?
Yeah. Even if it's a satire, it can be too much.
Oh yeah. And Indica Blue, boy, I see you. I want you in my life. Oh yeah,
Perfect
Alright.
blue.
And
Indigo Blue.
like always, I gotta make sure to remind you to tell your kids cats die, music fades, but art is for keeps. And this is fucking art. Oh, this is art. I'm keeping this shit. And
Keep-
go hell Henry Sabrowski, motherfuckers. This will be a bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.